Hi, my name is Professor Pablo Restrepo. Today we're going to answer the question, how do you negotiate with a different culture? We could spend a long time on this, so let's be practical. I'm going to address the two most important aspects that are impacted by cultural differences. The way people build trust and the way people share information. For that, let's understand how you could classify cultures. Perhaps the simplest way is talking about high context cultures and low context cultures. High context cultures are Asians, Latin Americans, Middle Easterns. Those would be typical high context cultures. Low context cultures would be Northern Europeans, Germans, North Americans, Scandinavians, and of course you have mid context cultures like French and English. But let's stay with the extremes for now to explain our concept. So let's begin with building trust. Building trust in negotiation is fundamental. You have to be effective, because if you don't build trust, people won't share information with you, you don't understand the problem, it's very hard to find solutions that work for both parties. So how do you build trust? How do high context cultures build trust? High context cultures place a lot of emphasis on personal rapport. They want to find personal connections. They want to find similarities with each other. So they will spend time asking personal questions, sharing personal information. They will have rituals, some very formal, like the Japanese, exchanging business cards, some more informants, like just going out to dinner and have a few drinks and talking about different things. So high context culture will spend quite a bit of time building this personal rapport, and that's how they build trust. Low context culture are quite different. Actually, they may even feel uncomfortable if they are asked personal questions. For them, it's more about transparency. If they feel that you're being transparent, they will trust you. And by being transparent themselves, they will show that they're interested in building trust and in trusting you. So for low context cultures, trust is based on information transparency. Now let's go to the second aspect, information exchange. High context cultures, again, remember Asians, Latin Americans, Middle Easterns, are not very open to sharing information for different reasons. Maybe because they feel that if they share information about their interests, priorities and preferences, they would put themselves in a weak spot, even if I don't agree with that. Or perhaps because they don't trust each other. Basically, they are reluctant to share information. So with them, you won't get very far by asking questions and being open about information sharing. You will have to use proposals. You will have to present flexible proposals, hopefully multiple proposals at the table, and by observing their reactions, you will start assessing what their interests are, what their preferences are, what their priorities are, what they like, what they don't like. It takes more time, but that's the main approach. With low context culture, in theory, is much easier because they like to be direct. So Northern Europeans again, North Americans, Germans, they like to be direct. They will tell you what they like and what they don't like. They will be open and forthcoming about their interests, their priorities and preferences. So in theory, it would be much easier to do information exchange with them. So let's summarize. The two main aspects that are impacted by culture is how do you build trust and how do you share information. And you will have a different approach if you're negotiating with a high context culture like Asians again, or a low context cultures, for example, Northern Europeans. The best way to anticipate and prepare for when you're negotiating with a different culture is talk to someone who has negotiated or has interacted with that culture and find out whether it's more a high context culture, a middle context culture, or a low context culture. And again, if it's a high context culture, you have to place a lot of emphasis in personal rapport. You will have to use proposals to get information. If it's a low context culture, you want to be direct because that's the way you build trust, and information exchange will be much more fluid. I hope this will be useful. See you in the next blog. Thank you very much.